Alright, today I'm going to be talking about laptops for students studying data science. This of course includes the hot topics right now like machine learning and AI. Look, even if you're doing other disciplines like computer science and you're taking classes in data science, this video is for you too. In fact, data science laptops, they actually eclipse what's required for computer science. So, if you buy one of these, good news, you're covered for both. Now, just so you know how we prepared today's video, several of us here, including me, do have computer science degrees and have taken classes in data science. And one of our team members actually graduated from data science. He's currently doing research for his master's. Additionally, we went to university. We interviewed real students about what they need. So with that said, the first thing that you need to understand is that real data science runs on NVIDIA's hardware using CUDA. Yes, you can run data science applications on other platforms like Apple's MacBooks, but guys, let's call a spade a spade. NVIDIA is the industry standard right now. But before you run out and buy an expensive gaming laptop with a dedicated NVIDIA GPU, all universities have servers available to you to run your models on. You do not need to run them on your laptop. Basically, you schedule your models using something like Slurm. The issue with this, of course, is that your models are scheduled and you may have to wait for them to run. If you make a mistake, more waiting. If you can test your models on your laptop first, that will give you an advantage. In the industry, this technique is known as prototyping. Talking about the real world, the larger the dataset, generally speaking, the more accurate your model is. The biggest constraint that you're going to face is how much VRAM you have access to. You see, most laptop GPUs have limited amounts. 8GB is pretty common for entry-level gaming ones. Please don't confuse this, by the way, with system memory. This memory is assigned to the GPU. Anyway, for data science, there is normally a huge advantage to getting a very expensive laptop with more VRAM. A 5080 has 16GB and a 5090 has 24. But this is not the case for students. The models you'll be working with tend to be in the millions of parameters versus billions like enterprises use. The only thing I'll note though is try to get a laptop with at least 8GB of VRAM. Sometimes you divide up VRAM and it's easier to divide it up in powers of 2. So to sum this up, you can study data science off any laptop, even those without a dedicated GPU. But having one, it will give you an advantage. Look, other than this, the same general rules apply when shopping for a computer science laptop. You'll want one that has solid CPU performance and ideally 32GB of system memory. You'll want it to be light enough to be portable with good battery life, at least as good as you're going to get given that we're talking about powerful laptops here. You'll also want it to have a high-quality display. That will allow you to see tons of data without needing to squint. Ideally a 15-inch screen or larger with brightness above 400 nits and a high resolution. The higher the resolution, the crisper small code looks. Other than that, I really don't want you to be spending more than $2,000 on a laptop for school. Now, I'm about to go through the laptops I recommend, but make sure you check out the best data science laptop lists on our website, bestlaptop.deals. The reason I say that is because that list, it'll be kept up to date well after this video goes live. Also, we list far more laptops there than what I have time to cover today here. And finally, we have a bunch of tools on our website to ensure you're getting the best deal. We call out when we think a laptop's price makes it a good deal or a great one. We have a price tracker so you can see when it's the best time to buy. You can even set custom price drop notifications. Hint, laptops, they often drop by $200 to $400. With that said, the first laptops I'm going to go through are the ones without dedicated GPUs. These do tend to be cheaper. Let's start with the Yoga Slim 7 i15 and the ThinkPad X915. Both these are thin and light laptops with large screens from Lenovo. They both use Intel's Lunar Lake processors. These are the weakest processors in terms of CPU performance that I'm going to recommend today. For students though, it's still acceptable levels of performance. However, what these processors lack in performance, they certainly make up for in battery life. Now, in addition to battery life, the Slim 7 i15 and the X915 both have large high-quality displays. This will allow you to see a ton of content on screen. The Slim 7 i15, that's the value for money option. The ThinkPad X915, that's the upgraded choice. It has a better OLED display and a more accurate haptic trackpad. In fact, the ThinkPad X915 is so good, our lead tester Seth, he actually uses it as his daily driver. And that means it's really good because he has a choice of any laptop he wants. And he's right here right now, Seth, to take it from me. Alright, let's continue. If you want more performance, you'll want to step up to a laptop with an Intel Aero X16 CPU or a Ryzen one. The Lenovo IdeaPad Pro 5, I have one right here, it's a really good one to get. Like all laptops in Lenovo's range, the I indicates the laptop comes with Intel and without the I, AMD. For students, this laptop is simple. It has a large screen, a comfortable keyboard, a powerful processor, it's pretty compact and portable for a 16-inch laptop, and the best thing about it, it doesn't break the bank. In some regions, you can even find one with a dedicated GPU. Now, one laptop that's often forgotten that is absolutely awesome for students is Asus's ZenBook Duo. This one's actually the ZenBook non-Duo. We gave ours away to one of the students we spoke to when we were doing our research. I have a video up about that. It was a really cool day that we spent at school. I'll post the link to it down below. Anyway, back to this video. The Duo, it's a dual screen laptop. It can be used as a regular laptop where you place the keyboard on top of the second screen, or you can take the keyboard off and use it wirelessly in its dual screen mode. The Duo has this kickstand that allows the screen to stand on top of the other, and that wireless keyboard, it charges when docked. Guys, it is so awesome to have two 14-inch displays, and both these panels are high quality ones. And it's just not that much larger than a regular laptop. Anyway, to add a cherry on top, this one includes one of Intel's powerful Ultra 7 or 9 H-series CPUs. Finally, the MacBook Pros. Both these laptops are phenomenal for coding. Everything about them is top-notch. Build quality, trackpad, keyboard, speakers, webcam, you name it. And because they have such high-quality screens and macOS does an excellent job of font rendering, you can often see far more information on these displays than on comparable Windows laptops. Look, it's very helpful for coding. Also, when it comes to the M4 chips in these laptops, they are incredible. Seriously guys, they run circles around Intel and AMD, particularly when it comes to power draw. This means that MacBook Pros are the only powerful laptop that have incredible battery life. The base MacBook Pro 14 with M4, it's going to be good enough for most students. If you can stretch your budget for an M4 Pro model, I'd try to do that. Its processor is much more powerful and it comes with 24GB of memory, not 16. And keep in mind, a MacBook's memory is unified, which means it's shared between the GPU and CPU. So if you want to run models on these MacBooks, you may want even more memory than 24GB. Now, whether you choose to go with a Pro 14-inch or a 16-inch, that's really up to you, whether you value portability or productivity. Alright, with that said, let's move on to our laptops with dedicated NVIDIA GPUs. Firstly, the HP Omen Transcend 14. This is such a great student laptop. It's a 14-inch gaming one that looks super cool. It includes Intel's powerful Aero X16 CPU and a dedicated GPU up to an RTX 5070. Now, one of the surprising best things about this laptop is that it feeds its GPU less power than others do. This may sound counterintuitive, but it has its benefits. The whole laptop can be fully charged via USB-C. You just don't need to carry around a big charging brick with you to get the most out of this laptop. Also, since its GPU isn't fed as much power, the whole laptop it stays cooler to the touch than other small ones with this kind of hardware. Its arch nemesis, the Zephyrus G16, it gets noticeably warmer to the touch. Now, for gamers, clearly a GPU with less power is going to result in lower frame rates and that will suck. For data scientists though, it's just not as much of an issue. As mentioned, VRAM, it's more the constraint. The biggest issue that I see with the Omen Transcend 14 in this context is that its display is only 14 inches. It is a good one, but when you're home, you may want to pair it with an external monitor. Next up is the Asus Zephyrus G16. As mentioned, I personally find the 14-inch, it just gets too hot to the touch for my liking. The 16-inch though, it is fantastic. The reason I like it so much is because it's an all-round super premium laptop. It's one of the lightest and most compact out there with powerful hardware. You can think of it as the equivalent to a MacBook Pro 16, but with Windows and NVIDIA. Now, in this year's model, its battery life, it is much improved. It's one of the best for a laptop with a dedicated GPU. If you can afford it, my favorite configuration is the one with Intel's Core Ultra 9 Aero X16 CPU and an RTX 5070 Ti GPU. The 5070 Ti GPU comes with 12GB of VRAM. Now, even though for data science students, 8GB to 12GB of VRAM, it won't really matter all that much. But if you do play the latest games, it does. Many games on settings that this hardware can comfortably run at, they need more than 8GB of VRAM. Without it, you may see significant frame drops. I do have a video out on this which I'll link below. If you don't plan on playing the latest games, or you're happy to dial back the settings a bit, just save some money and go with the 5060 or 5070 version. Or if you find the older model on sale, that's good too. In 2024, there was actually an Intel and an AMD variant. I'd go for the AMD. It's more power efficient than the older Intel CPU. Also, please avoid any model with a 4080 or a 5080 or even higher. This laptop, it just doesn't feed its GPU full wattage, so you're basically throwing your money away. Next is one of my favorite laptops for programmers. It's a great alternative to the Zephyrus I just mentioned. It's the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i. Compared to the Zephyrus, it has a much better tandem OLED display. Not only is it brighter, but its resolution is higher. Although a super high resolution display, it isn't good for gaming, it is amazing for coding. There is no better display to look at and code on than this one. Not only this, but the Yoga Pro 9i has the most comfortable keyboard of any laptop. Its main downside versus that Zephyrus I just mentioned is that it isn't as portable. It's a little chunkier and heavier. It also taps out at an RTX 5070 or 5060 if you're in the USA. Look, if the Zephyrus and Yoga Pro are just too expensive, the Gigabyte Aero X16, it looks like a great alternative. I say looks like because our one, which is right here, it just arrived in the studio and we're still working on testing. Our full review of it will be out in a week or so get subscribed with the notification bell on for that. Finally, if you want something truly powerful that doesn't destroy your wallet or your parents' wallet, then I'd step up to the Acer Strix G16. There is a model with AMD's Ryzen 9 HX3D processor. This processor is extremely rare in a laptop. It is basically AMD's high-end desktop CPU just shoved into a laptop. It is a monster. Not only this, but the 5070 Ti in the Strix, it is full power, not like the one in the Zephyrus G16. The Strix's downsides are that it's a pretty thick laptop. It also has some little niggling things. For example, you may feel some vibrations when the fans are going through the keyboard deck. Most of the team members here, they didn't notice it, but I'm a nitpicker and I did. And if you want another powerful option, I'd go for the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i. It is a competitor to the Strix, but you do lose out on that AMD processor. Don't worry, it still has a very powerful Intel HX1 inside. Alright, I promised our video editors that I'd keep our videos short, so I'm done here. I hope I've helped you out. If I did, please share the channel with your friends and your classmates. Also, as mentioned, make sure to check out our website, bestlaptop.deals. It is the hub for laptop buying. If you have any further questions, just leave them down below and I will try to get to them. I say try, I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them. Anyway, till next time, go do something awesome with your day and I will catch you later.